it's Armin. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello. I hope you stick around. Don't forget to hit subscribe down below, as well as the notification bell so you can be told when I make a new video. Today I'm doing my probably very late October wrap-up, my trick or to readathon wrap-up. If you missed it, my friends and I posted a very fun, very spooky Halloween readathon for the month of October. It was super fun. I'm very excited to hopefully, I'm saying this now, I don't know where I'll be in a year, but I would very much like to do this again next year, so if you missed it this year, don't worry, we'll probably do it again next year. And also I'll just link stuff down below and up above. It was the trick or to readathon, and I was supposed to read several books for this. I was very ambitious with my TBR. I think I put maybe at least 6, maybe 8 books on my TBR, and I had a lot more like on standby. I was like, if I finish, I will read more books, but I kind of forgot, or I chose to willfully ignore is more like it, the fact that October is my dad's birthday, my grandmother's birthday, midterm season for my university, and just like literally the middle of the semester during college of my 3rd year in college. So needless to say, I didn't have very much free time to read, but I still managed to read 4 books, so I'm still kind of proud of myself. I read 4 and also like half of a poetry book, which I will get to. So the first book I read this month was Mexican Gothic. This was the entire reason I started this readathon. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to read this book in October, and I was like, let me start a readathon and maybe this will be the group book or something, which it wasn't, but I managed to like fit it into one of my TBRs, and I really wanted to love this book. I was so excited to read it, and it just like was so disappointing. I buddy read this with Lisa, and when we first read it, all we saw were good reviews. And we were so confused because nobody like had thought of the same things that we were having issues with, and then suddenly we started seeing like so many different reviews. So my friend Monica also felt the same way. I think Books and Lala made a video. I don't watch her channel, but Lisa told me that she also gave it not a great rating, and I've seen some other people say similar things. So it felt validating to know that we are not completely alone. But basically, Mexican Gothic follows this girl who travels to the Mexican countryside. She's from Mexico City, and she goes to the countryside because she receives a strange letter from her cousin who has just been married and is living in this spooky manor with her British family now because she married some British guy. Whatever. Anyways, so she's living up there, and she's like, my husband's trying to kill me, things are happening, the walls are speaking to me, like general creepy stuff. And so she goes, and yeah, I don't even know how to explain what happens. No, that's a lie. I know how to explain the rest of what happens in this book. Nothing happens for the entire book up until about here, at which point it gets very weird, very uncomfortable, and not at all entertaining, just weird, and just weird. It wasn't even scary, it was just weird. And if you've read it, you know, I'm sorry TV, I keep trashing on your taste, but I just didn't enjoy this book. The second book I read this month was significantly better in terms of my rating. It was probably the best book I read this month, and that is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. And I absolutely loved this book, but it was a little bit exhausting to read. I gave it 5 stars, but let me just tell you what it's about. Basically, there's a bookseller's son who finds a book that he really loves, and he wants to find all the other books by this author, but he finds out that somebody is systematically destroying every single book that this author has written, and there's like a huge mystery behind it. This book has a lot of plot. That is like the basic plot, but there is so much other stuff just going on in this book. It's definitely a wild ride from start to finish, and I mean that quite literally. It is definitely like the definition of like a roller coaster ride book. Make sure you have like the brain power to read this book before you start, because I was kind of tired when I started it, like generally, and it was just like, it was a lot. It took me so long to read this book, like probably like a week, and yeah, I don't know. It was very good though. I would highly recommend it if you want something twisty-turny that will blow your mind. This is definitely the book for you, but it has a very unique writing style, so just keep that in mind like whenever you start reading it. But yeah, this was definitely better for this month. But after that is when I kind of started slowing down, and I didn't really read anything for like a week and a half-ish. And then I'm not gonna try to get this out of the box because I tried earlier when I was piling my books up and I couldn't get it out of the box. But I started the Darkest Minds series because I wanted something easy and fun and kind of very easy to read. I don't know, I was trying to look for another word, but I couldn't find one. I just wanted something like YA dystopian, basically. So I started The Darkest Minds because I picked it up on a book haul this month, and I mean, I wasn't disappointed. I gave it 4 stars because Not because it was well written or anything. I mean, it wasn't badly written, but it just wasn't, it's not like a literary masterpiece by any means. Like, I would say The Hunger Games in terms of YA dystopians is pretty amazing. Darkest Minds is not exactly at that level. It was just a YA dystopian that was easy to read, and I enjoyed it, and I will be continuing on with the series, so I mean, I wasn't disappointed. I got what I wanted. If that's what you want, read it. The Darkest Minds basically follows the United States after some disease has ravaged the country and killed off most of the kids. The ones that are left have been left with weird superpowers, and the government is feeling very threatened by their new powers, so they just round them all up and put them in concentration camps effectively, because that's what you do when your kids have powers. So yeah, they've rounded up all the kids, and the story follows one main girl, Ruby, and also like her little gang of people that she meets up with after she leaves her camp, and they're kind of trying to figure out what's left of their world and make a new life and just kind of do stuff in a dystopian, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I love the characters. It's a fun little read. I mean, fun dystopian, you know what I'm talking about? It's not exactly fun, but it's entertaining. So yeah, there's that. The final book that I read this month was called The Sky Above Us, which was an e-arc provided to me by Penguin Teen. I was not planning on reading this book this month. It doesn't even come out until next year, but I got it this month, like on my Kindle, so I just started reading it because I went on a little trip to Austin for my birthday and I didn't feel like carrying books with me, so I just took my Kindle, which was very convenient. I'm holding it upside down. Anyways, I read it on my Kindle. It was a very quick read. I read it over like 2 days, and even then I was reading it like in the car, in bed, so it didn't really take that long at all. I think it was like 300 pages long. Basically, this story takes place, it starts when these 3 boys kind of crash. They die in a plane crash at the very beginning of the book. It's not like a passenger plane. It's like one of those tiny planes that you can like fly around, and like the ones you have in flight school and stuff like that. I don't really know what they're called, but anyways, there's like a beach party going on because all these kids are in high school. They're about to be seniors, and so they're celebrating, and the 3 girls, wow, okay, I'm all over the place. There's 3 girls and 3 guys in this book. There's 6 POVs in this book, and basically it starts from the POV of one of the girls as the plane crashes. And then it jumps back in time to a month before the plane crash, all the way to 1 week after the plane crash, and following the 3 boys who were on the plane, and one of the boys' ex-girlfriend, one of their sisters, and one of their best friends. So there's 3 boys who died, and then 3 girls who are connected to the boys in some way, and it kind of follows them leading up to the crash and after the crash. It's kind of like a little psychological mystery thing, because you don't know why they were on the plane, what got them on the plane in the first place, and also there's like a little bit of supernatural aspect that kind of plays in there. I gave this book like 3.75 stars. I haven't written a review yet, but I will link it down below as soon as it's up. I actually really enjoyed this book. As I said, it was a very quick read. I kind of flew through it because I really wanted to know what happened. My issues were mainly with it was very hard to keep up with the characters at first because, again, there are 6 POVs and they kind of jump in all together, and it was a little bit confusing to keep track of, but once you get a handle on the characters, it's fine. Also, the kind of direction that the storyline took was a little bit what, but again, I enjoyed it, so I think when this book comes out, I would recommend reading it. I mean, it wasn't a bad read, it wasn't like a waste of time or anything. I actually very much enjoyed it, and it has like some diverse characters, so that's fun. But yeah, it was an interesting read. I don't regret it. It wasn't the best thing I've ever read, but it was definitely good. So there's that. And the final book I was talking about that I didn't finish but I started reading is If They Come For Us by Fatima Ashgar, my hair, which is a poetry book that I picked up from Half Price Books, and I don't regret it at all. It is absolutely amazing. I am a little over halfway finished with it. I've been reading it kind of slow, been taking it slow, but let me find a highlight. I highlighted a lot of things, but suddenly I can't find any of them. Yeah, I've been highlighting in this book, which I don't normally write in my books. I normally annotate, but with this one, I said, screw it, I'm gonna highlight the lines that I really like. So, because there were so many of them, I was like, I'm gonna run out of tabs if I try to tab this book. So I just took my Tombow brush pen and I started highlighting, and I don't regret it because it's purple and I used a purple highlighter, so it matches, and I absolutely love it. It's so beautifully written. Highly recommend. It's not like it's been released recently or anything like that, but that's gonna fall. Okay. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend picking it up because it's just, it's so well written, and it kind of talks about identity, not fitting in, being an immigrant, being an orphan, kind of the identity things with the stuff happening in Kashmir with India and Pakistan and all of that kind of stuff, the partition. If you don't know about that, probably like look up that before you start reading this book or you won't really know what's going on. But I just very much love it. I can't wait to like read more because I find myself relating to a lot of the things in it, even if my experience wasn't exactly the same. Like as a child of immigrants, I find that I can, or like specifically as a child of Indian Muslim immigrants, I find that I can relate to a lot of the stuff in this book, so I'm very much enjoying reading it. And that is all the books that I read in the month of October. Not a lot, most of them were not even on my TBR, but that's fine. I still read some books, so I think overall net positive. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, or if you're going to read any of these books, let me know. And as always, don't forget to hit subscribe so you can be told when I make a new video, because hopefully I will be posting new content very soon. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.